6:33. That's enough, still another.
I'm going to sleep some if we're starting at 7.
Can we please come to order? Finance Committee will come to order. First off, I'd like to welcome our newest member of the Finance Committee, Michelle Hurst, representing Ward 9. Welcome. And also I'd like to acknowledge the attendance of our new Alderman at Large, Andrea Shutt, who comes to a lot of our meetings. Okay, you have the agenda. We have 11 budget items, 11 items. I'd like to make one change to accommodate some people who need to get in, get out if we could. We'll go to item number 10, which is the next to last item on the agenda, the property transfer for youth build. Bonnie Landy. Bonnie, you want to join us?
Thank you very much.
Pull up a chair.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hand out some stuff here for everybody. You already have it.
So this is the 11th item on the budget. 10.
How you doing?
So,
Charlie did give me one, so I
did he give you one?
He did give me one.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Good for you. So anyhow, I'll stand if you don't mind. I just sit too much. So for those of you that don't know anything about Youth Build, I'm in the front of the camera.
Well, that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know anything about Youth Build, we have been doing, Youth Build has been rehabilitating and building houses in the city of Kingston for over 20 years. This pamphlet that I just gave you is an overview of all the city houses that we've done in the city of Kingston. We're now working on our 25th house, which is on Emmerich Street. It's on the 11th page of this pamphlet if you want to look at that house. And we thank the city for being able to offer those properties to us to continue our program. The Youth Build program really, so just so you all know, it's a training program for young people, 16 to 24-year-olds who are out of school, do not have a high school diploma yet. The program is holistic with education, job skills training, in this case housing construction, case management, full-time case management, leadership development, and job placement. That's the components of the program. It's nationally funded for the operation, and the housing that we do, which is a byproduct of the program, a win-win for the community, has to be sold to a low-income first-time homebuyer. I'm proud to say that over the 24 houses that we've done, in over 20 years, only one homeowner has moved and sold the house to someone else. Everybody else, all first-time home buyers, are still living in the houses. The house on Emmerich Street, which we're doing now, and Tony knows it very well, I think. We did a really good thing there. We did a whole new foundation system. It's called Fox Block. It's a green kind of building for foundations. It's the whole thing. If we do it again, this is the first time we did it, I would love to invite people to come and watch. The whole foundation goes together like Lego blocks. But then the center of it is all rebar, which you pour the concrete in, so the concrete foundations. Ends up being that the outside of the Fox block has to be parched, so it's all like stucco. The inside, which is the basement, has to be sheetrock, so they end up buying a house that has almost like a full basement finished. So that's what we're working on now, and the proposal before you is to transfer 5153, is that what it is? I don't remember the number. 5153 Sycamore Street, which is a vacant lot. We've already done a plot layout and taken it to the building department to make sure that the house we want to put there will fit on the property. They have said yes, that it's fine. Brenna Robinson has been working with us from the Community Development Office to make sure that we cover all the bases that we have to cover. And so this is the house that we'd like to do. The reason why we're here now is that we just received a $1 million grant from the United States Department of Labor to be able to continue this program. It's a 3-year grant. Divide that up for 3 years. And that covers all the operation for the program. We have to raise the money for the materials for the house, because we're not allowed to use any of the funds that we get for the materials. So we've already raised the funds to do this house. We're looking to have the house transferred, and the immediacy of it is, the urgency of it is, that the U.S. Department of Labor has given us 30 days to answer conditions of the award, And one of the conditions is we have to have the house solidly transferred to us so that we can do the project.
Where'd you get the material?
Half of the materials that are going into this house are being funded by the Elster Youth Build LLC. And Kate Fiore is here with us, she's the president of our board. They're providing the funds for half of the materials, and the other half of the materials are coming to us through a grant that we received from the state, U.S. Department, not the U.S. Department of State, the Office of Children and Family Services, a workforce development grant.
And how many dollars is on that for the materials?
I think it's, half of it would be about $40,000 from the state for the
So
materials.
total for materials is 80.
For total for materials, it'll probably be about $85,000 or $90,000,
Uh-huh.
which we put out to do the house.
Mhm. Okay.
Anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, I don't know if you're, I have the answer to this, Bonnie. The vacant property, how long has that been vacant?
Down on Sycamore Street?
Yeah.
Ooh, Brenna might know that, I don't
Yeah,
know. I think it's a long time ago.
Books, I think it's one that her council is taking today, this year.
I will tell you
December
though,
28th was the last time that they could redeem that property, so it's been big to fill up.
we did a house on,
Long line of people
yeah,
waiting to purchase it.
no,
I don't think so.
no,
There's only $3,500 back taxes
Yeah.
on it.
yeah. And we did a house on the corner of Sycamore and Catherine, and this property that we're looking to do the next house on was vacant then, and that was done probably about 6-7 years ago. So at least that one, maybe one.
Tony?
I mean, we got these questions. This is a great program, a win-win, and for not only the city of Kingston to put property back on the board, also on the tax roll, but also to provide, first-time homeowners with a potential home. And thirdly, and not the least, is providing a career path for children that, don't have in high school and diploma, and, it's giving them skill building. And just looking, this summer, and on the property on Emmer Street, as I drove past or walked down to see what was going on, and to see these young kids really involved in this. And it's the students that are, or, the kids that are doing this. It's not like they're sitting around doing nothing, and it's, professional contractors coming in here, and they're actually hands-on and doing this. So I'm gonna be a yes vote for this because, again, I seen it right in my own neighborhood, what the potential is. And so,
And how long was that property vacant?
that property is vacant since, at least 28 years
Yeah,
since I've been
exactly.
married, yeah, so,
Exactly.
and much longer. So, to get that property, get a house in there, to look at where this was just trees overgrown and a vacant lot to what it is now, where you have a potential, first-time homeowner coming in and adding to our street value into the, the rural community is a win-win. It's a good program.
And
So I want to
I
clap.
would like to just say one other thing about the way that the program works. And this is for everybody's knowledge, because this is a really good program for the community and for the city. We have a construction coordinator. He's a housing construction person who's worked in construction all his life. He doesn't get in there, as Tony said, they don't go in there and do the work. He literally could probably do the job in half the time that it takes, but we're training these young people to know how to do this work. And the one thing that's really interesting about it is that we have women that come to the program, young women. And we had a young woman several years back who really didn't care about housing construction and learning how to do housing construction. But she literally came back to the program 3 or 4 years later, because we always tell them, even the young people who aren't interested in construction, look, you might own a home someday. You're gonna need to know how to fix the doorknob if it falls off. You're gonna need to know how to fix the wall if your son runs into it with his bike and puts a hole in the wall. Well, this young lady came back about 3 years later, and she told us so proudly, my brother said I was homeless. My brother said I could live in his basement if I wanted to help him fix it up. And she said, I literally knew more about how to do that construction than he did. So those are the things that we're training these young people to do. And they come back, they show the interest, they show the value. They learn not only the housing construction skills, but life skills. Some of them are homeless. Some of them don't really know how to do things for themselves, don't even know how to make a telephone call. to get an appointment scheduled. Those are the kinds of things that this program teaches them.
Okay, Michelle?
So I'm very familiar with this program from my job at Family with Stock.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
amazing, yeah.
Yes.
So,
You're one of our partners.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, I know the homeowners are low income, but does the taxes then paid on the property going forward, that's
Full taxes go
full
to the
tax,
city.
full,
Yep.
okay.
City has been getting the taxes on the 25 properties over these years.
I see
Oh,
your,
sorry.
I see your letter is dated January 2nd, and you said you have 30 days
Right.
to get this?
Right, they already know. I've already
Okay.
told them that there's not gonna be any vote until February 4th.
Oh.
They've already been told that. They have a little bit of leeway to get in touch with them immediately, and of course, I got the notice of the award on December 31st. So then you didn't know I couldn't get a hold of anybody until January 2nd. I talked to Brenna on January 2nd, she said, you need to talk to Steve right away, this has gotta be done before the February 4th meeting, otherwise you're gonna have to, I said, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this right away. So they know. I've got in touch with our DOL field project officer and let her know that the council wouldn't be meeting until February 4th, so I've got a little leeway.
Okay, is there a committee report available on this too, or do we need to write one?
We need to write one, I'm sorry, it was communication from the
Okay,
mayor.
we have a blank. So you're asking for the city to transfer, for the city to transfer the property?
Correct. Correct. And Brenna has all the information on how that gets done.
Huh?
And then once we get the property transferred, and the vote comes out, then the mayor will write a letter to the Department of Labor telling them that the property has been transferred into the name of the Ulster Youth Build LLC, and we will proceed with the, training that goes into it. We're hoping to be able to finish this house in a year, and then we may be back for one for the next year,
Yeah,
because we keep it going every year.
we're hoping it comes back.
It's gonna be in front. Yeah.
I'm gonna cut it out.
They
Haven't
haven't
come
done,
down
they haven't done yet. It's right here.
Oh, okay.
Where's the front door? It's right here, they haven't
All right,
cut it out
all
yet.
right, okay.
I invite you all please to stop by the site and check the kids out. They're really excited when people come to see what they're doing.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love the program.
And just were destroying the properties. They took over, I'm telling you, those kids worked hard.
Yeah, we'll see some of the houses, yeah. Mhm.
This one in particular, I was so proud of because I was the, community development director.
Look on page 7. And see the transformation on the house from page 7, and the house before it on page 6.
The one I'm talking about.
One on page 7, the old one isn't there because when we started to rehabilitate it, it fell apart. The walls were literally falling out.
Home and I had been in it, and then to see how it had deteriorated, I was so glad we were able to do that.
Kate was the director of community development when we were doing the house.
Yeah, prospect.
Oh, the.
As soon as we get the details on this report.
Yes, we do. You have the SBL, don't you?
It's in the letter.
Okay, good.
Hold on.
See if you need anything else from me. Sorry to hold everybody else up.
Okay. Okay, committee report from the mayor's office.
You want me to read it? Sorry. Authorization
Authorization for the
for the
mayor
mayor to transfer.
to transfer 51 and 53 Sycamore Street to Youth Build to construct a home to be made available to a low-income first-time homeowner. The estimated financial impact is $3,593.52, which is the tax, the current tax bill.
We'll be getting a lot more into it.
Motion,
Second.
really happy to do
Okay, all in favor?
that. Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
So is the punching in a Seriously.
Taking charge.
Right.
I want to attach this. Okay,
Those are my copies of the.
thank you for the left. Okay, let's move on to CETO, please. The first item on the agenda, and here is Captain Joe Thomas.
Yep. You doing, everybody? So, sure.
No, it's okay.
So basically, I'm just here for my lease renewal. Everything's good on my end. We got the repairs from the last renewal, finished last winter. So the dock's in good shape now, and we're just ready to move forward. The only real comment that I have is we gotta figure out something with the invoicing, because invoicing seems to keep falling behind. So I just need invoicing and I can write you guys a check. So that's the only real comment that I have. Other than that, I'm just here to answer any questions anybody has.
Has anything changed in the lease?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen the current lease. Janet's gonna get a copy of that to me. But as far as I understand, nothing's changed.
Okay, I talked to the corporate council about this yesterday. We told me that this is basically the no changes to the lease.
Yeah, that was what I understand.
What was on before, and he had no problem with it. The committee report says to enter in, approval to enter into a 3-year lease with CETO and authorizing the mayor to execute said lease and use of
Motion. Second.
So, Steve started, who was the second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Thank you.
Okay.
Start going.
Thank you.
Another one, double three.
Another three. What's going on? I don't have, I can't even count it. In there. Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, see if we keep these together with the lease. I don't have any.
Do you want?
Yeah,
Paper clips, all over.
we're all runs on paper clips.
Maybe you have a staple, a box staple, you know.
Okay, hi Kristen, let's go on to Broadway Street. John.
Yep, you can take it.
Third item on the agenda, second item.
Okay, so, we're here tonight to request bonding and authorization to award the construction of the, Broadway Streetscape project as well as the construction inspection contracts. Did you all receive the draft resolution?
No.
You didn't get it?
No.
Oh,
Do you want me to go get it?
I have,
No, it was not in the packet.
yeah, it wasn't originally in the packet,
No. Do you want me to go get
do you want
copies
me
of it?
to, I do have 2 here, but.
Do they need it for the vote?
Yeah, I think they need it, as well as the committee report, so.
Do you want to just give me that over my copies?
There's. We don't have a committee report.
Well, we don't need copies of the committee report,
Just-
only Doug does.
Yeah, there's 2 committee reports and 2 resolutions.
Do you want everyone to have the committee reports as well?
No, I think just one committee report.
It's all-
Yeah. Although. John, you wanted to change this number, I saw, you know,
Just the application on.
yeah. It's on the resolution I just gave
Yeah.
to.
Right, the 1,298,000.
Yeah. Okay, so, I'll just run through the project, the sort of history. I know there's some one. So this project began in 2015. We began design. The original grants that we got were from New York State DOT and NYSERDA. And then we got additional funding through the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation and the New York State DEC to add green infrastructure into the project. And well, the DEC grant just funds the whole project in general. GPI, Greenman and Peterson Incorporated, has been our engineering consultants on the project. Chris Cornwell and Bob Jobin are here from GPI to answer difficult questions. So we've been plugging away on this design for more than 4 years, I think, 4 years. And we had some right-of-way acquisition we had to do in the middle of it, which took us a long time, but we're finally there. We advertised the bids in December, and we received bids on January 16th. We got 7 bids, and they ranged from 7.38 million to 12 million. And the engineer's estimate was 6.495, 6.5 million, essentially. The lowest bid is 13% over the engineer's estimate, which actually isn't so bad. From what I understand, it's actually pretty good. And we once we got the bids in, we did all of the analysis, and essentially the city would be contributing 40% of the total cost of the project. And so tonight we're here to request the first resolution, lays out all of the different grant funding and also all of the different design and right-of-way costs and construction inspection costs. And we are requesting bonding for 4.72 million, and that includes the city's share of the project, as well as about 1.3 million in additional bonding for delayed reimbursements. So as we're doing the project, some of the reimbursements will come in from the DOT and the other state agencies, like on a month-to-month basis, but all of the state agencies have retainage that they'll hold until the end of the project, so we want to bond for that amount of retainage, so that we don't, so we have the right cash flow through the project, and then at the end that 1.3 million will be reimbursed. So the total city share is 3.677,348.65, essentially.
Who's the low bid, or who ones did you guys award?
We have not awarded, so tonight what we're doing is requesting authorization to award the bid, or award the contract, and we're requesting the bonding to support the project.
So award the contract to who then?
The contractor is Peter Luisi and Brothers Contracting.
That was the lowest bid.
That was the lowest bid.
And do we have a copy of that, or no?
The bid tabulation.
I mean, it's available, yeah, the contractor returns dozens of pages of documents, but
So you don't have a printout of all the people who bid?
I actually do have it
You
with
said
me.
it's 7 people, right?
Yeah, it's 7
Yeah.
people. We have.
You have the totals, or,
Yeah, that's why I really wanted to see who the companies were and what
Yeah,
their bids
I
were.
can share that.
All right.
This one, we didn't print that one out for everybody because there's lots of numbers on there and it can get confusing, but there's essentially 7 contractors that bid on the project.
I was
And
just wanting to
if
see
you have
this.
questions about that sort of thing, so also just to clarify, I manage the project through design and right away, and now if and when we award the bid to the construction contractor, John Schulteis will manage the project, and GPI will be conducting construction inspection, and you have three staff on on board, right? For 3 construction inspectors?
Yes.
So, and they're all
Yeah.
full-time? Or full and part-time?
At various times, yes.
Various
Depending on,
times.
as they start the project in the beginning, we won't be fully staffed until the contractor gets fully staffed, so.
Yeah, also worth mentioning, GPI is opening an office here in Kingston, for this project.
We'll be located right at 15 Railroad, where the Kingston Land Trust is on the 3rd floor. So that'll be the basis of our RE, similar to the roundabout project. We'll have an RE right there, so we'll have a presence right here for that interaction with the business owners in the city.
RE meaning resident
Resident
engineer.
share, sorry, yes.
I guess I should ask you rather than quit, doesn't matter.
Yes. Well, they're-
Once we start work, how long are you anticipating this takes?
Completion date for the contract is July 15th of 2021.
Oh, yeah?
But we do not have a schedule from the contractor yet. Once we get that, we'll work through the city
Also
and
county.
relations to get that out to everyone. So we can look at that.
Seems very ambitious.
Year and a half?
It's doable, there'll be a full year. Our anticipation is the contract will come in, the tree cutting has to occur before the end of March. They'll do a lot of the utility work and the streetscape work this year, and then paving and the final striping will be done next year as the last process.
And some of the tree
Plantings will be done this spring.
Most of those get planted in the spring, and that's when they start to take off, so that's why we have that.
This is good, we've been looking forward to this for quite some time, so this will be nice to see this get started.
And out of the 9 contract, or the 7 that bid, none of them came to me and said, hey, we might need more time, is there, none of them did. Louise hasn't mentioned it yet, so.
Where is Louise based out of? Where the?
Louise is based out of Albany, New York.
And just got another recent project in Ulster County, in a sewer work project.
Who did you?
Actually, that would be Green County. So
Green
it's,
County?
Catskill.
Catskill.
Louise's out of Cat?
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. The last project they were working on was a streetscape / sewer project in the city of Catskill.
Okay.
And was the only criterion lowest price, or were there other elements of the decision?
the state mandates that it has to be lowest.
State-
Yeah,
Yes.
There's a big difference between the highest and lowest.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
We were very, the one that came in at 12 million was very surprising, and frankly, it's hard to believe they thought they had a shot at that price. The others are in a closer grouping.
Yeah, there's 3 million
Yeah.
difference between 6 and 7.
Yeah. Now, to further answer your question about the qualifications, so, the state has an extensive vendor responsibility program where they, obviously have a list of debarred contractors and things like that, so obviously no contractor on that list can be awarded the bid.
And also, to clarify, you would, tonight or in February, the council would authorize to make the award and the bond, but we still have to wait for New York State DOT to authorize us to make the award. We can't just, right?
Yeah, we have 45 days from bid opening to complete all of that and get them an award.
So you said, just one follow-up question. And all projects New York State requires as the lowest bid, or this project, or is that how it works?
It depends on, there are some projects that don't, but it depends on but most of all of our federally funded local, they're all lowest bid.
Okay, thank you.
You have to file New York State General Municipal Law, which requires your lowest qualified bid.
Okay.
It's different than an RFP. This is a bid.
So as John mentioned, it is price-based, but there is a series of qualifications and checks that we do to make sure Louise Brothers is they're certified to work.
They have done extensive work for New York State. We've got several other projects ourselves that are working, that they are also on federally.
And these are all the things that are gonna be done on the roads.
Right, that's a list of the community benefits there.
So it's all of Broadway.
Well, it's Broadway from the roundabout to Grand.
Grand, okay.
We're actually stopping about 100 feet short of Grand,
with the current project, and there is work to, beyond that limits, there's work at Signals, at Chester and Foxhall as well to install, well, to coordinate the signals so that the signals up and down Broadway now will talk to each other,
Okay.
so that it can travel through more efficiently without hitting every red light.
Does the project gonna also be able to line up with the Grand Street, that area, is that?
Yeah, that's why we're stopping 50 feet short, is to make room for an anticipated project at that location.
And GPI they're working on the design for that. We just completed survey.
Correct, yes.
And, so we're continuing with the design of that, so we'll probably have a public meeting a little later this year on that project and get it designed and, hopefully maybe fit it in for construction before the end of 2021 too, so.
And I'm assuming all these trees and stuff, these shrubs, you've talked to the tree department or committee, and that these gonna be good trees that are not gonna blow up these sidewalks again?
Yeah, we've had, pretty extensive discussions with the tree commission and other folks about the project. We had a meeting with them back in 2017 and then more meetings in this past year. And in the past year, when we were finalizing the advanced plans, we worked with the tree commission and they reviewed, we had a lot of extensive conversations. They reviewed all of the trees that we chose and trees that are in there recommended by them and agreed on.
We actually switched out some trees based on their recommendations, to make it happen, make sure we.
I just, wanted to like it was, the last time we did this with trees and then the sidewalks are getting blown up and,
So a lot of these trees are, going into the bioswales.
Okay.
So, like if you look at the second page here, this kind of shows a picture of what a bioswale looks like. So, should have that.
Oh,
It's just-
we
it's
do.
not
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
It's color, I brought a few color copies, or this
Okay.
one, I
Alright.
think you have a color copy, so we can hand that one out too. So the trees will go into the bioswales, and the trees are chosen specifically to go in that sort of space.
Anybody else?
And then there's some trees that will be in their own tree pit as well, that's not a bioswale, and I think those ones maybe are a little bigger, than the ones that go in.
Again, this is not a part of your package, I'll just hold this up, a little bigger board here, so in the middle here, these bioswales are typically about 4 to 5 foot wide by about 20 feet long, and there'll be 1 or 2 trees in them with a series of other plantings. The idea of stormwater goes into them, it's filtered, and then goes into the storm system. They're like a battery that holds water to help minimize your overflow, but that will allow for that tree growth.
My concern is these roots of these trees are not going to spread out like.
Correct,
grass
these
and-
trees are appropriately sized, there's also
Okay.
a root barrier that's put in these to prevent that spread of root that's currently occurring on Broadway.
Okay.
They must be slow growing trees, I presume, right?
Yeah, so they will not be 100-foot tall trees when they're done, these are appropriately
That's what I was
sized
saying.
trees, yes. They're sized for, there'll be more trees, but there'll be smaller size.
And will they be full grown when we plant them, or will they be?
They are about 3-inch diameter.
3-inch diameter on these ones, so they're a little bit bigger than typical projects. Typical projects usually you do 2, 2.5.
They're probably
Yeah, actually,
8 or
back a
10
little
feet
bit
to
bigger.
start.
But it'll take a few years
Height-wise?
before they get.
Height-wise?
10 to 12 feet, I believe, typically, in that range.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, other questions?
I
Yes,
just have a question about the parking meters. So you're saying remove the antiquated meters and then addition of modern parking kiosks? Is that like no meters and then you have a place where you pay to park, or what does that mean?
Yeah, so in this project, we are removing the existing meters, and with this project, we're putting in the concrete, foundations for the new parking kiosks. And then in an additional project through the comptroller's office, we would be adding the kiosks later. And the kiosks would be, more like the ones you see at the parking lot now.
Okay.
But they wouldn't be.
People would get the tickets and that sort of stuff.
No, well, John would know more about what the actual kiosks may be like, but,
Okay, but there'll be no meters?
yeah, they would be like connected to Whoosh and they would,
Okay.
yeah. So they'd be more modern. I don't, do you have to get a ticket and then bring it back to your car, or?
The existing meters, the pay station allots now, the pay stations in a lot, you put in your license plate
Right,
number and
right.
that syncs in with our ticket management system.
Okay.
So our readers know that, that license plate is paid. I mean, the exact system that we do on the street hasn't been fully developed yet, but if it were those kiosks that has that technology.
And that would probably be by,
Do you have a plan for where they're gonna be located yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll be noticeable for people, when people park, and they'll know that there's a kiosk, and they'll know
Yep,
that they should pay, and they're not gonna get a ticket because they don't see a kiosk.
we have, a signage package that shows where to walk, where the nearest pay station is. And that was
The signs in
the
there,
signs are
right?
all in there.
But the actual pay station.
The actual pay stations are not. Because we know exactly what the pads are, so we're putting up all the signs directing them to those pads.
and then the pay stations will come later, after this project is completed. So we have a little bit of time for us to figure out what we're getting between now and the end of 2021, or middle of 2021.
Okay, other questions, comments? Before we vote, did the CETO resolution make its way over?
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Okay, there's the coordinated signals. How will the plan as it is now is to have the pedestrian crossings always say don't walk unless you ask to walk. How will those interact with the vehicles? And how will the bicycles change that? How will the crosswalks change if people press the button? And how fast will the signal change for pedestrians? If they were approach the corner and it has just changed for the vehicles, will they be able to cross in that cycle, or will the pedestrians have to wait till the entire next cycle? And what is the design speed for coordinating the vehicles? What is the signal change anticipating the vehicles going at the speed?
Do you want me to answer that detailed question there? Or we could talk offline, I mean, that's up to you. It'll take about a couple minutes to explain that.
Yeah, that'd be fine to take it offline.
Okay.
I'll be well in the hallway.
Offline?
All right.
What does that mean, offline?
For him just to talk to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, good question.
Yeah, we can go over all that and.
Okay, the
Thanks.
two resolutions. The first one is a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the Broadway Streetscape project, appropriating funds for the project, and authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary agreements, certifications, or reimbursement requests for federal aid and/or state aid with the New York State DOT and other agencies in connection with advancement of the project. The financial impact is $3,677,348.65. Is that correct?
Well, John had suggested that the financial impact would be, we already have a bond for 3.4. I just didn't change it on the.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. This is the total impact of the project. The bond ordinance itself I have is the bond ordinance financial impact.
Right.
Which is the $1,298,000.
We have a bond ordinance for 3.422 million
Right,
already
right. We
for
did
this
that a
project.
month or so
Yeah.
ago.
I mean, if you want to change it, we can make this to $1,298,000 because you've already authorized it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, amended financial impact $1,298,000. Is there a motion?
Motion, second. Get this thing
Echo
going.
chamber.
Get this thing going.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, so. Okay, the second one, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the adoption of a bond ordinance for the sum of $4,727,000 for the Broadway Streetscape Project construction and construction inspection costs. So the balance to be bounded is $1,298,000. Right? Motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, passes. Okay,
Now,
Woo, we're building this
Yeah,
thing.
no, we just have to
Hey,
build it.
moving along.
We can
Now.
change between now and Friday, or I mean,
Alright.
next Tuesday.
Thank you for that. We now have additional bonding for the
Okay.
Empire State Trail.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll do probably do a meeting somewhere that they have there.
to make sure that all
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
people know
Yes.
that
Oh, yeah.
it's a start, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of outreach over the next month about this project.
That's it.
Thanks. That's it.
Another item?
I know,
Are you guys-
right? You can, I'm not asking for this money. I'm sorry. You're such a messenger.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Empire, increased, they're looking for another increased bonding of 36,000 plus for the Empire State Trail.
So this is the project, it's being managed by New York State DOT, it's the Empire State Trail Project, and it's for, essentially from the Walk Hill Valley Rail Trailhead on Route 32, down on, somebody help me out, the road there,
And.
Rockwell Lane.
Rockwell Lane, yeah.
So from Rockwell Lane, along 32 and into Greenkill, and then connecting into the Broadway Streetscape project. They also have some other sections in other parts of Kingston and then north of Kingston too. So the entire project is about 2.5 million, and the sidewalk portion of it was about $500,000. And we had originally committed $107,000. They advertised the bids, got the bids back. Our share went up. It was high. The bids came in higher, so by $36,000. So essentially, the city's share of the $2.5 million project is $143,485.
But we need to, we're asking to amend the bond ordinance.
It's amending the existing bond ordinance.
So let me get this right, we put it up, we estimated a certain price before we went out to bid, and then we went out to bid, the price, they came in higher than what we anticipated the bid.
Yeah, so New York State DOT, so they were the engineers, and they own this project.
Okay.
It's their project. It's kind of like I-517.
Okay.
So their engineers did an engineer's estimate, they bid the project, it came in higher than the engineer's estimate, which is kind of happening around the state right now. I don't know if it's just a lot of work or what, but it's kind of fun.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, it's
right?
supply and demand, so.
Depending where work, so they can charge more,
Yeah.
or not as.
So then, so Pittsburgh had, so Kingston, our portion went up, that's what this additional 36,000 is.
Right, so there's, a portion of the project is to put in new sidewalks from Amy K Parkway to Klingberg Avenue to connect, from the crazy intersection at Stewart's and Wall Street, to connect sidewalks from there all the way to, Amy K, which I think is where,
Old Infirmary, Golden Hill?
yeah.
Okay.
It's beyond that.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Gateway and,
Gateway,
Institute
yeah.
for Family Health.
Okay.
So it's to put in sidewalks, and that was something that the city had requested to be part of the project.
Okay.
Because we, all of us, I think, know the people walking that road, it's super dangerous.
Yeah.
And so there was $500,000 that was part of the engineer's estimate for that. And we have to pay about 20% of that, but the bid came in a little bit higher.
Okay.
So our 20% share of the 500 went up 36,000.
This is the lowest bid again?
Yeah, same process, they're same state law mandating that they have to accept the lowest responsible bidder.
How many bids did we get?
How many did DOT get? They haven't shared the bid results because they haven't made the awards.
There's multiple bids.
Yeah, they had multiple bids, I think. I didn't ask him that exact number today.
So you don't know who we're
I don't
essentially
know.
awarding, or if they're local, or?
No. DOT hasn't shared who the contractor is or because they haven't awarded it, so it's not open to the public information yet. But they won't share it with us.
Public.
Yeah.
So who's responsible for maintaining the sidewalks then? Like, since we're putting
The-
them in?
Yeah,
So like I know homeowners are responsible for maintaining a sidewalk in front of their house and shoveling it and repairing. So like what happens with these sidewalks?
it'll be the same. It'll follow the city policy for,
So
you know,
business
property
owners
owners.
or?
Yeah, or could be responsible for maintaining the sidewalk.
There's not many residences
No,
around
yeah.
there though, so that'll be
But we're starting from Stewart, no, Stewart, George Hassett.
Klingberg. It's a little bit
Klingberg,
yard.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not that many houses, yeah.
Right.
yeah, so there is quite a long distance there.
Yeah, that's no problem. So,
That'll be,
We have to let that, there's a big vacant property there, so whoever owns that, we have to make sure they understand they're gonna have to clean it up. That's.
And I would think that would enhance their property value, just kind of work on the outside.
I know DOT has communicated with most of the property owners. I think they also had to get some temporary easements. So I don't know what those communications are.
sidewalk only gonna be on one side or?
It's only gonna be on one side.
One side.
It's on the east side, or west side, yeah, you're right,
West side, the Stewart
Yeah.
side.
yeah.
I'm just reading what you wrote.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Yeah,
I don't
that's-
actually know.
That's the Stewart side?
Well, I just know Stewart from that intersection going up. So the other parts would be then, that's a state road?
Yeah.
The state road is responsible for cleaning, right?
No.
Well,
I mean, it's gonna be, like you said, it's gonna be much of the
no,
sidewalks
well,
ain't gonna be in front of
it's a
anybody's
state
house.
road, but it's city, it's city maintained.
Yeah.
So it would be,
It's a- I think
parks,
it's the
somebody
city.
in Parks and Rec.
Parks
That-
and Rec
that's-
would have to clean some of it, yeah. That's gonna be our responsibility.
I think it's a city, I think it's a state route, which is different from a road. Sorry, I'm not.
Also state. Wow.
But the sidewalk, it's the property owner. I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
clearing the snow from the street is the city's responsibility.
I think the city actually owns the road. It's a
Yeah.
state route. So it's like Henry Street. Henry Street is the state route, it's a state truck route, but we own the road and we're responsible for the maintenance.
We're responsible, or the homeowners are responsible?
Well,
The street.
the city is responsible, from DOT's perspective, the city is responsible for the maintenance, and the city, through our
Policies.
sidewalk code, makes homeowners responsible for the maintenance
So
of
if there
the
are no,
sidewalks.
if there are no homeowners in the city, we just, the Parks and Rec would most likely
Right,
take
that's
us.
what I'm saying. Where it's not a home and it's just a long stretch.
Okay.
The
Well,
city
property
keeps it-
owners, I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't,
Yeah, it's not a city property there. That long,
is it,
it's not.
the state, oh,
I'm
the
pretty
state
sure.
property? Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know the,
This is you.
No, I think it's private property.
That's right.
Yeah.
They can call you.
no,
You
not
call
the
them.
Schulteis
I've
letter.
already had a conversation with one of the homeowners over there about the sidewalk. She's actually in favor of it, she's happy about it, she just wanted to know what's going on.
She's willing to shovel?
She's ready, we went out and we were pricing different shovels, talking about the merits of the bent shaft versus the straight one.
Okay, resolution reads, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing an amendment to increase the bond ordinance dated July 2nd, 2018 for $107,000, increased by $36,485.06 to a total of $143,485.06 in order to fund the local share of the New York State DOT managed project to construct sidewalks on Route 32 in the city of Kingston from Amy K Parkway to Klingberg Avenue as part of the federal aid project, PIN 8759.13. The financial impact to the city is $36,485.06.
Motion.
So,
Can we just amend it to be $37,000 even, the additional bonding? I can make the changes on there if you'd like. We can't bond for pennies.
You put it down like.
As much as we may like to,
Yeah.
we can't.
So we can't bond for any gumballs? Bond was, we had a lot.
We had a lot.
No.
$36,485.06.
yeah.
I think it's for me to change it.
So I'm just changing the additional to 37,000 from 36,485.06. The new total will be $144,000.
$144,000?
$144,000, and what we previously authorized 107, and we're adding 37.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, this passes. Okay, Chief is here, let's just skip to the next item, the internal transfer of police vehicles, KPD, which is the fifth item, we're skipping.
Brett is here too, so.
Yes.
Oh,
so
for $300.
You're right, thank you, you were here, you're out of my peripheral vision. We have a, sorry, Chief.
No, that's okay.
Only when I like some parking tickets. All right. I stand, I stand properly admonished. We have a budget transfer from Brenna for $309 from contracted services into general materials, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
Motion.
2019 transfer. Can you mark this 2019, Doug? Committee report?
It's,
I don't think it is.
it's for 2019,
2019 budgetary transfer.
so it's being transferred into 2020?
No, it's within 2019.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll still be doing transfers for 2019
Okay.
for a little while.
all right. $309.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Chief.
Sorry, Brenna, I apologize. Okay, Chief, I think it's safe that I can call on you now, okay. Transfer of $5,000 because of a increase in bid prices for 4 vehicles, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, we took a shot based upon the main bid we had last time, and it came more than we anticipated.
4 vehicles coming from, 5,000 coming from contracted services into motor vehicles.
Yep.
Transfer of $5,000 due to the state OGS procurement office bid. Did they really get a good deal over a commercial, are they successful in getting,
Yeah, it's good, it's just the problem is that there was nothing, in the past, they would have a bid you could just go to and say, there's the price. Now, if the vehicle's not available, you'd have to actually go out on, create a bid, and then the numbers come back.
okay,
The advantage this way really is that the cars are built nearly complete. So when we get them, there's a lot less outfitting locally than there was in the past. We tell them what consoles we want, the lighting package, and they assemble it at the dealer and then deliver.
And how long do they generally last again, with each car?
How long do they do?
Yeah.
About 3 years. Yeah. The Sonic Patrol, they're about 3 years.
We hear,
Yeah.
what kind of car?
The patrol car, regular
Oh,
patrol.
I only like 3 years.
About, yeah. Usually, you gotta figure, right, 24 hours, the fleet that we have now, because we're so behind, no fault of the council, no fault of administration, it's just worked out the way the hybrids came in. We ordered them in early 2019 and we just got them delivered. So I say December, over a year, because they were just backlogged. The new cars are in, they are just getting decal, and the radios are getting installed. But they are hybrid vehicles, which took a little getting used to. You start it, you don't hear it, you turn the key, it's nothing. Yeah, it's interesting, but about 3 years, yeah. This will be interesting, especially with the type of systems that they have in the electronics in them, to see how they hold up. But Ford has had good luck with them in highway use at least.
I know, so I drive a hybrid and working at West Point where there's cadets every place, it's a concern that they're just gonna walk across the street or run across the street, so.
Yeah, they
make
don't
sure
hear
the drivers know to be on the lookout for people who don't hear the
Yeah, I turned the key one time and I just waited. I turned the key again, waited, and then I just realized on the dash, it says, okay, you're able to drive.
So get on.
The ad's been on, yeah, right.
So, budget transfer for 2019.
Just a base cost.
Budget transfer for the 2019 budget. This is a request for an internal transfer from a contracted services account to a motor vehicle account for the purchase of the 4 new police vehicles. This money is in addition to the funds previously approved for this purchase, so the estimated financial impact is 0.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Michelle, this one doesn't have your name on it.
Thank you.
We'll get you there. Excellent. Okay, thank you.
That's the old one.
Yeah.
There's a couple, I think, some of the departments still have.
All right, good.
See, I get these other resolutions around.
I couldn't find it.
So just,
You also,
His
Patrick,
name, where is ours?
I write yours in, write Richard Ward's, and
We're now up to Kingston Fire Department.
Chief Brown will not be here tonight. He did call me prior to the meeting, asked if I could just speak to it, his transfer. Transfers. The first transfer is a transfer from contingency to the retirement accumulation account. Those of you who've been with us for a few budget cycles are aware that we do account for retirements in our contingency account. We're developing that number. So this isn't just really, this is housekeeping at this point. It's something that is expected. I can say, just looking at the chief's budget, he may not have needed to pull from contingency to cover this, but at this point, it's fine. I mean, we have plenty of money in contingency for 2019. He can't spend it at this point anyway. We're past the end of the year, so.
I don't understand why, I mean, this is a big bite of the contingency, about 10% of the contingency. Couldn't this have been budgeted?
No, what we do is, I'll walk you back about 10 years. Years ago. Yeah, this is quite a walk. So years ago, as part of the budgetary process, each department, they were asked to provide their projected retirements. And year over year, the departments would historically over-project the people they thought would retire. Because typically what would happen is employees would say, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna retire next year. And you'd get a list from, say the fire department, they'd have 10 people on the list, projected retirements. And they would ask for that much money in their retirement accumulation account. And what would happen is only a handful of those people would retire. And a lot of times we could take that money from somewhere else within the department. Sometimes we'd have to go from contingency. So what would happen is we had too much money in that department's budget because we were accounting for all the retirements. And then to the extent they weren't using that money, they would ask to transfer and use it for other things. So we decided years back, let's pull that money out, put it into contingency so the common council has control over it. and departments can't use that money that's allocated for retirements
For
for
something.
other things within their department, they actually have to come and ask. Okay, so these are actual known retirements that have happened, and that's what they're asking for money for, and that is part of the city's plan when we're developing the contingency. That being said, the fire department, had considerable savings in the regular pay line during the year. So when they do come in for, at the end of the year, the transfers, they're gonna have money left over regardless.
And where's that money gonna go?
Well, all leftover money at the end of the year, all falls into fund balance, so whether you had money contingency or within their department, it doesn't change it.
To this building somewhere.
It all goes to the same place at the end of the year. Any unspent contingency, any unspent money within the department budget just rolls into fund balance at the end of the year. It's just
So
part of our.
this is a better way, because now we have more say over it than the way it was, when the department can just say, okay, we're gonna use.
Right, well, yeah, okay, so here you have four firefighters who retired. If the department had projected 7 retirements, and you would put, $175,000 into their budget, they would now have $70,000 and change to come up here and do a 0 budgetary transfer to move it to other lines, to cover other things. This way, they don't have access to that without asking. You have a little better control over that money.
Yeah, that's good.
So are these actual retirements?
These are actual retirements, these are actual separation services, these are known amounts.
Yeah, we know the secretary's gone, and yes, it's for firefighters who retired. That we got here.
But once again, as part of this, with delays in backfilling, et cetera, there's been several $100,000 in savings in regular pay. So,
Okay, from the fire department, please consider the following transfer to pay out 4 firefighters and the department secretary retirement accumulation from contingency, $104,796.93
that's fine.
to, retirement accounts, $104,796.93.
Doug, could you just make a note that's a 2019 budgetary transfer?
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
This one we have to cross out a name.
Everyone we have, she's been crossing out me. First.
Okay, the second one for the KFPD involves transfer from the KFD, fire department, from the fire department into building safety division. I think we talked about this, we knew this one.
Yeah, we knew this was coming. This is where, when we had a retirement within the fire department, we had a deputy Tom Tiano, oversaw the building and safety division. After he retired, Steve Knox took over, running the department, and the position was created to assist Steve in the building department. Previously, Tom's position was paid for out of the fire department, even though he worked the building. So, this is just moving the monies that were.
We didn't budget this for this one?
We
talked about it.
The money was in the fire department. The
Right.
money just needs to be moved from the fire department over to the building department.
But we didn't do that in the budgetary cycle?
In 2019, we did. This is 2019.
So this is also.
This is also housekeeping. This is 2019. So this is moving the money, from the eliminated position to the new position. It should be marked as 2019 as well. And just to note, the total is $84,508.40. There was a typo.
84,000.
$84,508.40. That was a typo.
Okay. 2019 transfer of $84,500 $508.40 for a position in building safety.
Motion.
That's a big tie.
Kevin's old.
Oh, no, you're already.
He's older than me.
Oh, yeah.
Zero impact. Somebody takes it.
All in favor?
Aye. Ay, caramba.
Okay, next one is Parks and Recreation. Let's see, there's a transfer of $19,000. Shortfalls of unanticipated equipment vehicle repairs through 2019. Transfer from various accounts in Parks and Recreation, service contracts, maintenance, and vehicle total 19,000. Sorry. Money's coming from contracted services to accounts in Parks and Recreation into service contracts, maintenance of equipment, and vehicle transfer, $19,000, zero financial impact.
Motion.
Is this in 2019?
This is 19.
Okay,
This,
so.
this is just this is essentially a cleanup of accounts.
Okay, so who made the motion?
I second.
Tony, you second.
Here's
Tony and Steve Schreiber. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Lisa, the resolution for this isn't in my copy. She just says the
this
the
is-
next one, the wastewater.
For which, the wastewater?
Wastewater treatment.
It's online, but I just have two blank pages.
Yeah, everything.
Parks and Recreation.
Does anybody have actual for that wastewater? Do you have anything? We have 2 blank pieces of paper. For wastewater, for the one you.
Yeah, we did, and I did print that out, one copy. I did, Tony.
Because everybody else has blank, so.
It's,
If you wanna give it to me, I'll go make copies.
yeah, I only have one copy here, which is the one we voted on, but it's and it's hard to read. Replace generator assembly at, wastewater treatment plant.
Wilbur Avenue Pretreatment
Oh,
Station.
maybe you can read it.
Yeah, replace grinder assembly at Wilbur Avenue Pretreatment Station. Then he names the actual piece of equipment, mobile Xanax Ripper twin shaft grinder. The transfers to move from sewer contingency to pump station, equipment for $40,000.
Zero impact?
Oh, no, it's a $40,000 impact because he's pulling it from contingency.
Oh, you're pulling from
This was something
contingency,
he planned
okay.
But I have a question on that, the money coming from the contingency.
From sewer contingency.
I know.
Yeah.
What was the amount again?
And
40,000.
what's my question on this? Page 162. Oh, this is 2019.
Yeah, you just want to-
2019. And my question was, there was no money adopted for that. There's no money in that, is that right? So we're transferring from something that has no money, if I read that right.
This is the recommended budget, this isn't the adopted budget. This is, you still have the.
This is the adopted budget, okay.
No, that's the 2019 adopted.
Yeah,
This is your
I'm sorry.
2020 recommended.
I'm sorry.
So you're missing your 2020 adopted.
Yeah,
So that 100,000 was adopted in 2020. The recommended amount was adopted, the council would change that number.
okay.
So you have, somewhere at your house, you probably have a copy of the adopted.
No, actually Doug was away, so he has to come in and sign
Oh,
for
we
it.
have to sign for it. okay.
Yeah, you have to.
That's why I don't have it.
Oh, okay, so that, it's.
So it's in there.
It's in here.
Okay.
That's why
You wanna see it?
you was in Russia for so long. A lot of things went on. A lot of things went on when you were in
All
Russia.
right. All right, that's, that answers the question. Okay, so, is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. So it's in there, it's coming out of their parking budget again?
Sort of.
All in favor?
We'll just have copies then before.
Yeah, it must be just so light it didn't
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah.
It was really light when I got
And
it.
even when online I read it, it was, yeah, it was.
Yeah, cause he hand wrote it, he didn't type
Right.
it like most people do.
Magnifying glass. I know.
One more, right?
Okay, the next one, we've done youth bill, the next one is
It's from,
tree related, let me see. Budget amendment,
Moving money from the
requested transfer of $62,500.
Lisa, do you have a committee report for that? Like, the one we talked about the plan?
One from,
This was another.
One from Sue Kale, the $62,500. The shade trees.
the committee report.
Yeah,
The
those
one- oh,
were
one,
ones
yes.
that need all the numbers, yeah.
Here's another transfer, $62,500 in the 2019 budget, put back in the 220, but I couldn't find that in the 2019 budget.
Elisa's running downstairs and, she's gonna get the committee report. It was in the 2019 budget, I don't recall whether or not it was part of the original, it was the amended.
So it's not in the adopted budget.
I have it, real quick. I believe it was through a budgetary transfer. Long story short, it was placed into the 2019 budget. The project was not done, so now they need to, the project will be, it's my understanding, complete in 2020. So the budgetary transfer that took place in 19 just now needs to be repeated in 2020.
Yeah, but it's coming out of 2019.
It's not, that's, the narrative is trying to explain that this was a 2019 grant
Right.
with expenses that never occurred. So they want to move that to 2020. The only way to do that is really just to do a new budgetary transfer for 2020. We can't move the money from 19 to 20. We just have to basically do the same budgetary transfer we did last year for 19.
Okay.
Okay, so, I met with Elisa, she has a committee report, and she's gonna bring it up.
Oh, okay. All right, so that, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't happen last year, it'll happen this year.
Okay. Okay, from the planning department, shade trees. The 2020 budgetary transfer, request of $62,500, which was in FY 2019 budget, be reinstalled in the FY 2020 budget under A1-656L.14.14.22, contracted services. So the original move comes from two budgetary items in 2019, and authorize the mayor to execute any and all necessary documents. So the original moves total $62,500.
Okay, everyone,
Yeah, and this has to be done sooner than later.
estimated financial impact is $12 million.
March.
Because they had this, they want to start.
Yeah. Because there's a city match. Once again, this transfer was done in 2019, it had a city match. So $12,000 that you move from contingency in 19 won't be spent. So now you're repeating this transfer for 2020.
Okay, complicated, but I think I got it.
Yeah, does that make sense? Basically, we did a transfer in 2019, it didn't have to be done because the project didn't happen. So now we need to do that same transfer for 2020.
It's going to happen.
So we can fund the project, so we can fund the project. It's just,
All right, is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
well, you know, like some of this, what it goes back to, if some of the questions that came up during the budgetary process where we talked about whether or not to leave grants in there, that you're not sure whether or not the city's gonna get them or not get them.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, and sometimes you find out during the year that you're gonna receive a grant,
Mm-hmm.
so this is one of those grants that came up and we added during the year, last year. It just didn't materialize by the end of the year.
Did I ask to vote on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I think that's,
I was handing out my financial thing.
I think that's it on the agenda. There was one here in the packet, I don't think it makes any sense, somehow it got in from Kevin. It was in the package.
Must have been your packet, because I don't got anything from Kevin in my packet.
Some money, if I like the hard copy,
Oh,
let
that
me.
was, I think that was, yeah, that was part of one year.
Part of the recreation department.
Oh, somehow it got in here.
I have a copy of it.
Yeah, it was part of the one that internal transfer.
Yeah, just that's it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Everyone has a copy of the financial report. So, everyone have it now?
Yep.
So, the financial update you have is through November. You can take a look at it. Most of the trends that were in place earlier in the year continue, positive variances with regular pay. And because the regular pay is typically where there's a delay in backfilling positions, when you have those variances, you also have positive variances typically in employee benefits because of we pay the health insurance on a monthly basis. If there's delays in backfilling employees, we save money on the benefits. Some of those are intentional, some are unintentional. Due to delays in backfilling positions, we have overtime overages. You have some other minor overages, but overall, the spending has been favorable to budget. Other than obviously the council's passed a number of resolutions to authorize use of fund balance for various things. So we have used the fund balance for different pay downs and acquiring assets. Sales tax is finalized for the year. The amount as adjusted by the county is $13.83 million. It's $192,000 over the 2019 level. And at this point, we're estimating the give back to the county is $823,000 for the year. That number is not finalized yet. There's a chart here. If anybody has any questions on this, Michelle, you're probably not familiar with it, but if you ever want to sit down and do this with me, I'd be happy to sit down. This is a chart that I give out at every finance meeting. We essentially just track every payment for sales tax that comes in. They come on a regular interval, the same interval year in and year out. So you can always check, where are we at this year versus last year, et cetera. So, really no surprise on sales tax, the parking revenue's all been strong. On the bottom half, I give you updates on our investment account balances are down from prior months. It's just that time of the year, it's also, the property tax comes in and we can.
So $823,000 we posted it, and
$823,000 is an estimate of, what, basically the contractual reduction to the city from the sales tax agreement for the county. And that number will be finalized as, the final two payments that we would have received are received by the county. They notify us of what those dollar amounts were. So, there's a little bit of time left on that, but as of right now, it's in that neighborhood, Tony. That number will change. That's pretty much it. Contingency balance prior to this meeting was $595,619. An update, so over the next several months, you'll be receiving budgetary transfers to clean up 2019. We continue to work on 2019 reporting, up until we have a report that goes to New York State, beginning of May. Our auditors come in around that time frame. They do their audit, they wrap that up, late summer, early fall, and I'll continue to keep you abreast as to the 2019 results. But once again, outside of the fund balance transfers and the use, everything looks.
So a lot of that contingency excess gonna get dumped back into the fund balance.
Yeah, but you keep in mind, there's, the city used fund balance to acquire assets, you use fund balance to pay down debt. You use fund balance for a number of things, so, you're not gonna have the favorable results that you had in the past year, but that was part of those planned, by the council.
Okay.
All right? And, once again, I'll keep you abreast, we're still collecting on 2019 receivables and still paying 2019 bills, so.
Okay.
All right?
Good. Other questions, comments? Motion